City offers assistance to a group of people without nationalities who faced food shortage. Mozambique Tzu Chi volunteers receive fabrics from a women's organization to make face shields. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tai. Thank you for joining us. In Malaysia, Sabah, there lives a group of people without nationalities. They live on the fringes of society and depend on the sea for their food. However, due to the spread of COVID-19, they can no longer sell the fish they capture and face running out of food for their family. Let's see how Tzu Chi offers assistance to these people.
Living a seaborne lifestyle, the Sama Paju people living in Kampong Pandan make their living from fishing. And due to the spread of the new coronavirus, they are suffering from hunger.
They can't go outside since when they leave to borrow, there are police officers stationed at major roads. This group of people doesn't have documentation, so they're afraid of leaving their homes right now. They can only eat what is left of their rice and catch fish to eat.
Upon getting word of their situation, 4 volunteers from Tadao and 6 from Lahadatu formed a survey team to conduct some in-depth understanding of their challenges.
We're very grateful for Lahadatu's new Bodhisattvas for taking on the responsibility of doing the actual distribution. One of our sisters asked them if Tzu Chi wanted to host a distribution, could they help? They replied they could, and so we began planning.
Some live in a home made from scraps of wood or on a boat. And as they don't have nationality in the country, they cannot receive government assistance. The children are so glad to see the gifts the volunteers brought, as they have not smelled the aromatic scent of cooked rice in a while. The distribution this time is different from others as aid materials are distributed by boat.
We plan for a distribution of 167 families, and we prepare 50 kilograms of rice and 10 kilograms of cooking oil for each household. But some of the families cannot hold that much materials in their home because they live on a boat. And that much weight becomes a burden to the house. And it's also a very small space. There's not even really room to live on there. So when we give them aid materials, there's nowhere for them to store it.
Ya, saya punya kehidupan syukurlah kan dibagi bantuan ni, thank you bagi apa ini Tzu Chi punya, makasih lah sebab kehidupan di sini ni beginilah, kalau ada macam ini baru ada bantuan begini.
Though the distribution was met with rain that day, it didn't stop the volunteers from continuing to deliver the goods by boat to the recipient's home.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Banqiao District near Taipei City have been caring for a grandma and her grandchild who live together. The elder woman's hands shake because of her age and autonomic nervous disorder. This prevents her from cleaning the house, which is further affected by her hoarding habit, which has led to many cockroaches and mice in the house. Recently, more than 20 volunteers came to clean, with a special Buddha Day ceremony also being held.
Debris, cockroaches, and a young girl's itching body are the symptoms of a dirty home accumulated over a long period of time.
This child came to my house and talked to me saying, "Sister, my grandmother has been bringing things home and I have bites all over my body." So I tried to communicate with her and she agreed to let us clean.
Throwing out moldy, unused clothing, more than 20 Tzu Chi volunteers from Banqiao's Jiangcui worked to clean walls, cabinets, kitchens, and bathrooms. The neighbors also showed compassion.
We live next door and she is a very good neighbor. She is getting older and it has become inconvenient for her. As neighbors should also try to help out.
It's like clearing away the dirt in my heart. By the way, everyone working together with one heart also feels quite good.
It's a lesson in being grateful for one's blessings in life. I'm going to go home and thank my family for taking such a good care of the household.
This old lady with autonomic nervous disorder has trembling hands, and a volunteer hairdresser has taken the opportunity to make the two inhabitants a little more tidy.
Thank you for letting me help you.
Washing the body and mind, Tzu Chi volunteers then hold a very special Buddha Day ceremony on site.
In Changchun City of Jilin Province, Tzu Chi volunteers conduct weekly home visits in the Jingyang community. They're caring for 5 families whose living conditions are all different. Tzu Chi volunteers care for them in special ways, providing them much-needed companionship.
When we sing, the neighbors upstairs and downstairs can hear us. They said these children have come again.
Every week, laughter can be heard at 97-year-old Grandma Lee's house.
I do not have children. They are better than my own children.
Changchun City volunteers care for 5 families in Jingyang community.
修行就是要把人事物的障碍除掉。
Volunteers sing and share good books with the care recipients. They also help clean up the houses of care recipients who have difficulties. Then they guide the care recipients to maintain the environment and turn sorrow into bliss.
In Tainan, Tzu Chi volunteers are promoting vegetarianism to police officers, business large and small, with many organizations responding enthusiastically to this campaign and some even thinking about adopting more vegetarian days in the future.
7 in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers are in the kitchen preparing a 6-dish, 1-soup lunch for the day. How to make everything delicious is the dedication of the volunteers.
We want the meal to be appealing so it can attract more people to eat vegetarian food. We are still learning in the progress.
Tzu Chi volunteers are promoting a vegetarian campaign in the Tainan area, with the police department, pharmacies, and major electronic companies responding well.
There were many sign-ups, so we've dedicated one day as a vegetarian day. It's at least once a month. If it gains popularity, then we can add more days, no problem.
It's a campaign to love the earth and safeguard everyone's health. So we are adopting a vegetarian diet, doing 1 meat-free day a week.
From 1 veggie day to 2 days, vegetarianism is spreading amongst Tainan City, and everyone is feeling the benefits of this diet to one's health and the environment.
Each month, we have 2 vegetarian days, where the officers can have a healthy meal to support their body, as well as helping to rid off disasters in the world.
Our officers are very busy and might not have time to exercise. Without exercising, eating meat meals can cause a burden on our digestive tract, so keeping a vegetarian diet has many benefits.
In just 1 day, Tzu Chi volunteers delivered 242 vegetarian lunches to 3 different police precincts in the Tainan area. This campaign to strengthen one's health while safeguarding the earth is the one that everyone wants to join.
In our series highlighting those fighting on the front line, today we meet Cai Shujuan, a nurse at the Infectious Disease Control Center in Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital. Her and her team has been sacrificing their time with family to ensure hospital patrons and visitors stay safe and prevent the spread of the virus within the facility. Let's go meet her.
没有这些管制，我们没有安全啊。都要看他的健保卡或者是身份证。 然后查了之后，如果确定它是绿色的，就还是可以让它进来。
Cai Shujuan is a nurse at the Infectious Control Center. She's overseeing the steps of admitting visitors to the hospital to ensure everything is taken care of and people are staying safe. As her supervisor of many years, Zhang Huiying is understanding of the effort she's putting in.
Each day, the government changes their tactics and how to deal with this pandemic, and we need to adjust our roads to include social distance. Visitors to the hospitals also need to keep to be limited, and testing stations at the entrance needs planning. All of this hasn't happened before, so doing it from point zero is very stressful, but she continues to find ways to do it. She's a very detailed person.
Cai dreamed of being a nurse since young. Her father warned her this path would be very difficult. but Tai insisted on pursuing it. Later, she switched to Infectious Disease Control Center to safeguard the entire hospital.
In these few years, I've concluded that infection control is something that is constantly being updated. You don't know when a new disease will show up. In the past, I was being led, but now being in infectious control, I am a leader.
Infectious control work is very stressful as they have much to attend to, such as overlooking dedicated patient rooms, setting up emergency fever check stations, contacting suspected patient referrals, training fellow hospital staff on self-protection, and even handling emergencies which happens during the middle of the night.
We had a patient we suspected of having a virus, and the patient was in the ICU. However, his result hadn't come in yet, and he passed away in the middle of the night. As this patient was categorized as an infectious disease patient, taking care of the deceased became a job for the infectious control nurses. So we called them. We are very grateful for their assistance.
As viruses continue to mutate and attack humans, this Florence Nightingale secures her post to safeguard your health.
In Mozambique, Tzu Chi received beautiful fabrics from a women's organization as they had heard Tzu Chi's making masks for the community. This women's group normally helps seniors in the community provide food for the needy and such. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi Mozambique had begun making face shields to meet preventative needs of the public.
Here at the home of Tzu Chi in Mozambique, volunteers are mobilized.
We know that preventative items are hard to come by in Mozambique. No matter if they are in private sector or government offices, everyone is asking Tzu Chi for help. This is how we thought we can make face shields.
4 stations are set up and anyone can contribute.
I'm doing the last step, which is to apply the Tzu Chi logo.
This handmade face shield also goes through a strict quality control.
Making a face shield itself isn't difficult, but the materials needed to make them is not commonly found in Mozambique, so buying them has been a challenge. I'm grateful for the volunteers who have been looking for them in Maputo in the past 2 weeks. We can finally gather the volunteers to begin working on the face shields. We have made about 100 so far, and we will distribute them to government sectors. I hope we can continue our efforts.
The need for face masks for the public has a female organization named Sikititas donating beautiful fabrics to Tzu Chi, so the volunteers may make more masks to help spread prevention education. It is nice to see how the ripples of love continue as one good deed deserves another.
On Buddha Day, the ceremony at Hualien Jingsi boat took place at 7 in the morning, and in Zimbabwe it was midnight. Therefore, all Zimbabwe volunteers walked to the venue the day before they gathered. Following the local social regulations, Tzu Chi divided the Buddha Day ceremony into 3 sessions. The attendees have all walked to the ceremony venue, with some walking for more than 20 kilometers. They're willing to do so because they're eager to pay respect to the Buddha.
在辛巴威已经封城进入第7周，那么大家都是人心惶惶的情形之下呢，很多的志工也很期待，说借用这个忆佛能净化自己的身，也让自己更有这个能力继续为人群付出。
Although Zimbabwe volunteers only had to participate in the Buddha Day ceremony with Hualien at midnight, the first group of participants departed a day before the ceremony. During the epidemic time, disinfection is most needed. Following the government's social regulations, this year Buddha Day ceremony in Zimbabwe has 3 sessions, with a maximum of 50 people at each ceremony. 12-year-old Hillary came with her mother.
Today I came to the venue. I was very happy with the card I received on the Buddha Day ceremony and also learned why we should not eat meat.
Gamotire and her little sibling Natalie walked more than 20 kilometers to participate in the ceremony, despite the fact that Natalie has limited mobility.
We woke up early in the morning and prepared to go out because we need to walk more than 20 kilometers so that we could join everyone else in this important ceremony. We're not tired.
As a result of the global pandemic that has resulted in social distancing, Brother Chu informed us that we can join the ceremony online live with the Taiwan volunteers. So we are happy to join.
Due to lockdown, all public transportation has been cancelled. In order to seek Dharma joy, volunteers who participate in online gatherings of the Tzu Chi family can only walk and are happy to participate.
The people say they know that Zimbabwe is a very poor country, and because of Tzu Chi, they can live a fulfilling life.
Tzu Chi's charity work has enriched Zimbabwe's local volunteers' lives and their spirit. They have become spiritually wealthy as they are able to help their fellow countrymen.
The Tzu Chi Korea Liaison Office on Buddha Day connected with Hualien Jingsi Abode in real time via the internet to participate in the event and view the very special ceremony. A devout group of about 30 people participated in the special activity, helping raise compassion and love abroad.
The Tzu Chi Korea Liaison Office held a simple yet elegant ceremony decorated with floral arrangements to host a Buddha Day ceremony connected to Hualien's Jingse Abode. In compliance with anti-epidemic regulations in South Korea, only 30 people were able to participate, with one small family sharing the Dharma joy. The bamboo coin bank shows the love of the community and reminds many of the Buddha's love as they gather together.
In Hong Kong, due to the epidemic, this year's Buddha Day ceremony was held on a smaller scale and mostly online. Where a ceremony was held at Hong Kong Jingsi Hall, there was another ceremony held at a dessert shop. In addition, some Tzu Chi volunteers invited nearby volunteers to hold a Buddha Day ceremony on his top floor balcony.
疫情嘅影響，使到個個都人心驚慌，社會經濟下滑，好多家庭都破碎。 我哋作為上人嘅弟子，我哋食素、持素，我哋就能夠安定我嘅心。我哋並且以持素發願，祈祝香港明天會更好。
Tzu Chi Hong Kong chapter holds a small-scale Buddha Day ceremony at the Jingsi Hall.
禮佛祝
We bring the Master's blessings to our Dharma family in Hong Kong.
I am a 6th grader. Due to the epidemic, we cannot go to school. I hope the epidemic will end soon.
On the top floor balcony facing the blue sea, more than 10 volunteers and donating members in Ma'anshan paid their utmost respect to the Buddha.
Our father has followed the Buddha. We are grateful to our father for raising us. So today I have a gratitude to attend the Buddha Day ceremony.
A Tzu Chi volunteer has placed a small Buddha altar at his vegetarian restaurant for 4 years. During the epidemic, the restaurant is considered too small. Therefore, his son has lent his dessert shop to hold a community Buddha Day ceremony.
My father's restaurant is a bit small and the feeling is not that stately. So we are holding the Buddha Day ceremony at my shop where people will feel the solemnity.
The mother-daughter pair have come together.
I hope I share some special joy with my daughter, so I told her to save the money from buying a Mother's Day gift and donate it into a bamboo bank. I feel very happy to help people in need. I appreciate my mother for bringing me to the ceremony.
While the epidemic has disrupted people's life, they're able to purify their minds and calm themselves at the Buddha Day ceremony.
As this year's Buddha Day ceremony was held in a different way from the past, Malaysia volunteer Zhou Yashi, who was 80 years old and lived alone, agreed to volunteer Chen Jingfang's invitation to go to her home for an online ceremony. She also makes a donation and celebrated a loving Mother's Day there.
Before daybreak, Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Fu and her husband drive their car to pick up volunteer Qiao Aju because they'll take her home for the online Buddha Day ceremony.
She's 80 years old and she can watch DaAi TV at home. Also, her cell phone is one of older types, so she can't surf the net, and she has no information about Tzu Chi, so I invited her to my home and she agreed at once.
Because of the epidemic, this year's Buddha Day ceremony is held online. Fellow Tzu Chi volunteers from around the world watch the ceremony on DaAi TV and pray sincerely. They have turned their homes into cultivation grounds. "80-year-old Qiao Aju donates money and hopes this love can help more people."
I thought about the Buddha helping people and doing good deeds, so we should follow his footsteps, and I became touched. I had some extra money and now there's a chance, so I wanted to pay back too.
On this special day celebrating 3 festivals, Chen Fu also prepared a cake to celebrate the Mother's Day with Qiao Aju, whom she has known for a decade. So Qiao Aju, who lives alone, can also sense the warmth of family.
After a care recipient passed away in April, Luzhou Tzu Chi volunteers went to clean her house and celebrated Mother's Day with her sons. Let's take a look and see you next time.